Okay, we're going to spend one final day looking at the interior angles of polygons. Um, so looking at the Google form from the other day when you first did the investigation, those of you that answered it, most of you were on the right track. So if you are not quite sure what's going on, you've got one last chance today to tune in. So follow along and make sure that you're thinking as you're going through this, not just copying it down without thinking about it. So how to find the missing angles in polygons. Step 1, this is what you always have to do first for any polygon. It's find the sum, the total that is supposed to be in this polygon. So the way we do that, go ahead and start writing this down. First, we count the number of sides. Then we subtract 2. And lastly, we multiply by 180 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and do step 1 first. So I'm going to count the number of sides. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 sides. So I'm going to record I have 6 sides minus 2. I'm going to take that multiplied by 180. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then 4 times 180, use your calculator if you're not sure, is 720 degrees. So equals 720. So that tells me that in this 6-sided figure, there should be 720 degrees. Now, obviously, I don't know the degrees of each angle yet because I've got some variables here that we're going to solve for, and that is step 2. Okay, so step 2 then says you're going to write and solve an equation set equal to the sum from step 1. So remember our sum was 720 that we just found. So that's what our equation is going to be set equals to. So I'll write equals 720, and then we have to figure out what goes on the other side of the equation. On the other side, I need to gather all of these expressions for each angle. Okay, first I start looking at the constant terms without the variable. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to highlight those. I've got 73 plus 65 plus 106 because it's positive 106 plus 29 minus 105. That minus 105 is super important. So I'm going to combine all of those and figure out what it equals here. So I'm going to take my calculator, 73 plus 65 plus 106 plus 29 and then minus 105 because in front of the 105 up here is a minus. So, and that gives me 168. So I'm going to write 168. Okay, and then I need to go look at the x's or the variables that I have. So I have 1x plus 1x plus 2x. So when I do 1x plus 1x, that's 2x plus 2 more x, that's 4x. So I write plus 4x. And then I'm ready to solve. So for my equation, I need to solve for this x. First, I got to get rid of the 168 minus 168 on both sides. 168s are gone. 720 take away 168 is 552. Bring down the 4x. Okay, divide by 4 on both sides. And 552 divided by 4 gives me 138. So x is 138. Okay, then step 3, it says substitute the value of the variable into each expression. So remember we got x equals 138. That means where I see an x, anytime I see an x, I'm going to put a 138. So for angle B, I'm looking at angle B right here. I can see that angle B says 2x minus 105. So that means 2 times whatever x is. So I'll start with 2 times 138, because that's what x is, minus 105. So I can use my calculator now. 2 times 138 equals 276, and then I'm going to type minus 105, and that gives me 171. So I know angle B is 171 degrees. Okay, now angle C is the next one we have to find. Right here, well, that's an easy one because angle C is just x. So whatever we got for x, that's what we say angle C is. So angle C is 138 degrees. Okay, and then angle F up here, I can see it says x minus 65. So instead of x, I'm going to write 138, oops, sorry, plus 65, not minus, plus 65. And if I add 138 plus 65, I get 203. Okay, now if I wanted to go check and see if my answer was accurate for all my angles, which is a great strategy for when you're taking your test because you'll be able to know if you got it right or wrong, I'm going to add up all 6 of these angles. So I'm going to add up these 3 degrees for B, C, and F, and then I'll go add the 29, the 106, and the 73, and it should get me to 720. So I'm going to check that right now. So 171, that's angle B, plus 138, that is angle C, plus 203, that is angle F. Angle D is plus 29, plus angle E is 106, plus angle A is 73, and it equals 720 degrees. So I know that I got my value of my variable correct and angle B, C, and F. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google Classroom and you're going to look for the announcement from today, and you're going to do step 2. So step 2 says complete the 3.3 practice Google slide exercises under the classwork tab. So I couldn't attach it to this announcement because this is just an announcement, not an assignment. So you'll go click at the classwork tab at the top, and when you click on that, you're looking for the first one there called 3.3 Polygon Interior Angles. Okay, you'll click that, you can open it, and it will open this up for you. It says you're going to need to use scratch paper, so you can use the back of the sheet that you just took notes on. And you're going to go through and solve it. So the first slide, I'll do an example with you, but it's very clear on what you have to do. You're going to type your answers in the box. So the first one, it says answer each question below about the polygon. So here's the polygon. Here's the example one. It says what is the sum of the angles for this polygon? So first I'm going to count the sides. There's 6 sides on your scratch paper. You can work out your problem. So 6 minus 2 times 180 is 4, and that equals 720. You don't have to write this one down. It's just an example that I'm showing you what you're going to do. So then you'll type your answer in the box. So there's 720 degrees in there. And then it says write an equation to find the missing variable. So I'm going to add up all of my degrees that are given, including the 90. And I'll type my equation. So I have 560 plus x equals 720. And then I'm going to solve that equation. It says now solve your equation on your scratch paper and type your answer below. So I'm going to write an equation. I'm going to solve it. And I get my answer of x equals 160. So then I'll type my answer in the box, 160. Now this is under an assignment, and each of you gets a copy, so I will be able to see your work as you're working through this, which helps me know if you're understanding things. So please make sure that you do a nice job on it and that you work through it to the best of your ability. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through, there are 8 pages for you. You're going to work through as much as you can. The more you can get done, the more prepared you'll be, and the more practice you'll be given. So that's step 2, and then quickly I'm going to show you step 3. Step 3, you are completing a quick check. So it's a Google form. I'll click on it in a second. It says this is graded and is going in the grade book like a quiz score. So like we've done for every other quick check, you'll get a chance to make corrections if you don't get 100%. So you'll open up this link, and there's a form right here. You're going to go through and you're going to answer each of the questions, type your answer in, and then click submit. It'll send you a copy of your answers, and then tomorrow you'll find if you got 100% on it or not. If you didn't, you'll get to make corrections. So the guest teacher is going to stop you with probably about Um, 15 minutes left, and then you're going to solve these problems in the last 15 minutes of class if you don't get to it before them. So please do a good job on things so that I can make sure that you're understanding what we are learning in this section.